This is out in outer space. They did this. They've made a black hole, the Russians. You see that?
Right.
Here's what happens. Because there's two particles, there's a white one is the glowy one, the black one is attached to it. As I showed those particles. They attach together. That would be considered an electron. Well, in space, there's no gravity to pull those two together down against the Earth, which is ground. Electrons always seek ground, correct?
Well, I guess electrons, it all depends.
Lightning, electricity, static, 100%. Every one of them wants to go to ground. It'll go around you because you're a resistance. The ground represents no resistance. This is ground. This black matter is ground. This is one, that's, you see these, they're grounded to the black hole. Now,
so
how they did this?
Is this image from the Russian research guys?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And I did not work with them, but I interacted to some degree. And this is how I got involved with Fermilab, and it ended up being a disaster with Fermilab. I don't know if you know about this or not, but they won't look at anything I have to present, even though I'm presenting the particles they're looking for. Now, I'm using photons. Now, photons are the smallest particles that exist, and they are particles, Michael. I don't care what you say, brother. These are particles.
No, absolutely. They present themselves as particles. Yes, they present themselves.
Right. Well, not only do they present themselves, they are. Because here's what happens. Watch. Watch this house. As you just saw those white particles surrounding the black core, correct?
Yeah.
In that one in Russia, the Russian shot up. All right. Now, this is exactly what happens in a nuclear bomb. The center of the nucleus is all the dark matter is pushed into there by excessive, gigantic quantities of electrons, which are the white particles, right? Those are the electron neutrinos. They coat the black core. When the bomb goes off, the first thing that leaves is the point particles. And remember what the point particles were. They were, here, what's the point? The point particles are these little glowy ones that have no mass, correct? That's what Fermilab says. And they see them. They know they're there. They just don't know where they come from because they're hitting things head on and just seeing a bunch of trash. We're using photons, which is what they wanted to use. And they had special meetings in 1978 to try to figure it out. They never could figure it out. I can show you that. Now, so what is the black one? The black is nothing but mass. It's exactly what he says. Extended particle, fixed size. They are nothing but mass. And the white ones are nothing but energy. Can I prove that? Absolutely. Here's the proof right here. Watch this house. Remember now, the black is in the core and the white is on the outside. That means the white is going to be the first thing to impact this house.
Right.
The next thing to impact it will be the black. Now, here's what happens. The white has no mass. It's only energy. Watch this. It'll burn this house and not even move it, Michael. It'll just smoke the shit out of it. Watch this. This is slow motion now. The first thing is going to be nothing but brightness. Watch this. Boom. Nothing moved. Not a damn thing moved.
Yeah.
House is just burning. Watch now. Yeah. Here comes the black. Boom. So what we had the first was the white, just roasted it. Didn't move anything, no mass. No mass to push. The black came along and pushes the house away because it has no burn, it's only push.
So totally do you know what analogy I get out of this is quite interesting because of Nassim Harameyn's beautiful paper, physics paper there at Arizona State about the density of the vacuum. I think that he wrote that in 2008, 2007. And no scientist, no physicist, to my knowledge, has ever contested that. So it stands. This is now, you know, anchored in our most advanced understanding of the toroidal field physics. And it shows and proves that the density of the vacuum, or the 0 point of any toroidal field, which is a particle, is infinite. So the density of the 0 point is infinite, right? And when you start messing around with toroidal fields, the contraction and the expansion of toroidal fields, which is all to do with resonance and magnetism and understanding how to manipulate that, you expand the energetic field around it, which is what we've noticed here as the first wave. That would be like a Caesar beam, just annihilating the Caesar energy, or whatever you want to call it, that annihilating the house with fire. It just literally just sets it on fire. And then comes the wave and the density, that infinite density of the expanding 0 point, because that's ultimately what we're doing. We're expanding the toroidal field to multiply itself and just keep expanding itself. So suddenly you get hit by that physicality of that 0 point that just destroys everything, physical in its way. That's what I can see happening, and I'm really glad that you brought this up, because, and let me stress again, what I've just done here is explain what we observe through the simple principles and mechanisms of toroidal fields, because these are the first structures that get.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Let me ask you a quick question. Explain a toroidal field to me.
A torus.
Explain what
those
you mean.
donut shape. The donut shapes. Any donut shape is what's known as a toroidal field.
All right,
Not
so
spherical.
let me just show you something. And see
Not spherical. Those donut shapes.
Yeah, I can show you all that stuff. I have tons of that stuff. But
Yeah.
watch this. This is the black particles that have no burn to them, just push. These are, and I calculated it out, they are 95.65% mass of the white and black particles. So the white particle is only 4.35% of the mass of matter. Because as far as I'm concerned, if I'm right, I don't know if this is right or not, but every black particle has a white one attached to it. And if that's the case, the white one only has 0.0435% of the mass. But watch what happens now. The black is so attractive because it's gravity. It's still way down back, a mile back at the tarmac. There's still a bunch of black there that has no white. It's all gone. It says, hey, come back here. Where are you going? And he said, well, you shot us off. And he says, yeah, but I can't live here by myself. You come back to me. Watch what happens. Just watch. The house goes, there it goes. Now it turns around and comes back. The black is gravity. The black is dark matter and is gravity, both.
Yeah. Yes, and that would be the 0 point of a toroidal field. That's where the gravity is generated. So you know, for me, everything revolves around, and I've done hundreds of hours of lectures on this, showing how the toroidal fields work, how they manifest everything in our reality. So what I'm witnessing here is your wonderful work and research that in every possible way actually just keeps pointing back towards how toroidal field for everything in our creation. Oh, no, let me not say it like that. Our toroidal fields, even that image there, even that image that you put on there, we can explain very quickly how this connects to torsion fields, toroidal fields, and how we so often misinterpret what we see, because we constantly put the limitations of size to things, because a lot of people, I think, in science today can't imagine infinity inwards and infinity outwards, and how it's just like Russian dolls. You can never get to the smallest Russian doll. There's always a smaller Russian doll inside there, you know, and there's always a bigger one.
It appears to be, Michael. And you know, I'm telling you right now, I go back to the ancient texts now that wrote about these original things. And I'm talking about the myth, Greek myths and Apollodorus and all that real old stuff.
Right.
Now, from what I have found, well, you want to jump away from this into the mud fossils? It's up to you.
Yeah, no. Well, let's carry on. Let's finish. Let's get to a little bit deeper into this. I'm loving what you're showing me and what you're sharing with us here, Roger. It's beautiful.
Oh, good. All right, you asked about toroidal fields. You want to see some toroidal fields? I'll show you some toroidal fields. Let me just jump down these things quickly so that I can show you this. You see the muon neutrino up above and electron neutrino down below?
Yeah.
Those are the black and the white balls. You saw those from CERN.
Yeah, and again, you see what they're showing there. Just even those images that they're showing. It's exactly and this is where the cone-shaped tools that are discovered come from. So you can see the way that the energy flows in and out of toroidal fields is of a cone-shaped nature. Always.
I can show light spins. Light is 100% spinner. I can show it, no question.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
This is our work down below. This is my work right here with Rodney Warren. And we have a single slit. This is not a dual slit. And it's a single slit, and the black and the white particles are coming down here, and only the white has the ability to squish down. So the black comes up, it can't get through our Venturi, but it slams the hell out of the white ones and forces them to squirt out of here. And then they recombine right here. So let me show you that we created fission and fusion and all of that stuff. Right here, watch. All right, these are the particles, the black and the white from CERN Fermilab. They see them, but they're hitting gigantic particles head on and getting a bunch of trash. We created them right here, the black and the white. Now you see the white ones, this one's glowy and this one's less glowy. The reason is that particle is coming through this direction. It's coming in. Now, if you could see in the front here, there's little tiny glowy particles because it's hitting. Every other particle has the same particles this has. So they're pushing these out of the way. That's what creates the wave. It's this particle slamming into everything that's in front of it creates the wave, which is this wave right here. You see it? The particle's right here. Now, because of a Venturi, you probably know this, but I just want to make sure everybody else understands. A Venturi accelerates particles and is an atomizer in gas engines. A Venturi was how they used to put gasoline into the engines instead of injectors. And what it would do, it would force these particles into atomization, which is basically what we did, was forced the light to atomize its own self and to create, instead of the black and white particles right here that were attached together, we created
Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want you to explain, please, what we are looking at here. This image on the left, the white image, it looks like it's exploding to the right, and it looks like it's got some sort of an accretion disk ring at the center of it.
Let me explain to you. Here, let me explain.
Because on the right-hand side, the image on the right, it's a lot clearer, because I think we're looking at the same image there. It
is the same image. This image here is the same as the one over here, but this is just a close-up.
Yeah.
This shows the light actual from the pulsar laser coming down and being accelerated. You see the wave is just like a jet fighter coming through a wave. We're literally accelerating light, not allowed by Einstein's standard model, none of that. We did it, there's no question. That's acceleration. Now, so in that little stream of a particle, it is the particle. And that particle right there is this particle right here. And it stays that particle until it hits the Venturi. And this is the Venturi right here. This is just splatter coming away from the Venturi. This is like a Venturi with a little slit coming through. All right, so at this point here, we create, you know about the interference patterns with light in the double slit supposed to be flapping over this way. It has nothing to do with that. This is a single slit. What happens with light is the white part of the light hates the other white part of the light. That's where you have push and shove. I call it push to shove. And every white particle will push every other white particle away, and it will create these showers. The black ones, they don't care. They'll sit right on top of each other. See them over here? They don't care about being next to each other. They couldn't care less. They are gravity. They just want to be hugged up to the white ones. Well, because of our Venturi, it's tuned to a width that only allows the white through. Because the white can squish down. See the white squishing down? The black can't do that. It's a fixed particle, just exactly what CERN and Fermilab say. I'm not making anything up. They say this is fixed, cannot change size. This one's squishy and has no size. Exactly what we found. There's no question it's the same. Now we're working with light, so we're way better than they are. They're using protons. A proton is 1,836 of these particles right here. A black and a white together is what I am going to call an electron. We always call it an electron. These are the ones that are static. They're electricity. They are lightning. Two of them together, it's just nothing more than a bar magnet. Two of them together, like bar magnets, make a photon. Well, a photon won't burn you. All right, a photon will not burn you. It will bounce off of you because it's got a complete magnetic field surrounding it. An electron, only one of these, wants to be attached to you. It might just glue onto you a little bit as static. Or if there's enough of them hitting you at the same time, you're a fried cookie. That's all it is. It's a quantities times the energetic value, all right, which is voltage.
Right.
You know the equation P equals I times E. All right, P is your power, which is everything requires power. The more power you have, the more work you can do. You agree?
Oh, everything. Again, we give these things names from our human perspective and perception, and then, just when you use the word power, it all depends who you're talking to, how they'll interpret that. But let's leave this to this interpretation right now, as you're describing, which is important. And it's important that we're going through this.
I think we can get free energy right now. No problem whatsoever. As a matter of fact, on that,
the important thing that we always need to come back to, and I find this work that you're doing absolutely intriguing and fascinating, but my mind keeps seeing the role and the activity of toroidal fields and the very simplicity of how toroidal fields work, how they can be split and broken up, how they can manifest once they're split and broken up. And that's all I'm seeing here. I'm seeing the physical manifestation of manipulating toroidal fields. It's a beautiful example of that, the fundamental shape and structure of everything in creation. Otherwise, it cannot be. It cannot be part of our reality unless it exists in a toroidal structure. And then we mess it up and we play with it. We crash these toroidal fields together, thinking that they this, and then they split up because of the magnetic fields in them, and we see smaller toroidal fields, and then we interpret that as something else. And this is the thing, that because we don't start off with the right fundamental, there's your perfect example, that image that you're showing me there. There are a bunch of toroidal fields all squished together there. It's like we're seeing the accretion disks of toroidal fields there. That is spectacular image, that. Unbelievable.
Where do you see? You want to see something? Let me show you Higgs on.
That's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, where do you see the other stuff I got, Michael? That's just a start, man. Watch this. These are Higgs on, these are Higgs on the move. All right. This is light coming through that Venturi. You see the white, really brilliant white?
Yeah.
Every one of these little sprits
Yeah.
is the completely separated white particle. They're supposed to be glued on. They call them gluons now. I'm sure you know this. The gluons are supposed to be the W and the Z bosons glued together.
Yeah.
Which
Look,
I agree with that.
I have my own take on that, but I'm not going to get stuck on that. But this photograph, to me, Roger, this is a $1 trillion image. This is spectacular, because this is, for me, absolute evidence of a bunch of toroidal fields all connected together with their respective magnetic and energetic fields around them. And what all we are seeing here are the energetic fields, the spiral energetic fields that make up that little particular toroidal field. It's like we're almost seeing the accretion disk, if I can call it that, of each of those toroidal fields, because you can't really see. I guess I must be careful how I say this. It's very difficult to see the energy fields. It's a lot easier to see what you call the black part of the particle, the black part, which is the physical manifestation. That image is absolutely mind-blowing.